What is going on, guys? Name's D3. Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. We're going to go ahead and use Extreme AGL against the TEQ Broly stage. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Subscribe if you're new, of course. And I want to go ahead and say that yesterday, a couple things happened. So I put out a video that was a double Vegito Blue lead. So go ahead and check that out because it also does feature a lot of, or basically the full 120 liters. So check that out. It'll be annotated at the end of this one. You'll see it pop right on your screen. Feel free to click it if you haven't already seen it. Hashtag grilling in the comments, excuse me, if you have already seen it, by the way, though. So what happened with that video is that one actually was like a few weeks old. I didn't mean to let it sit so long. What happened was I forgot I did it. Sometimes I just record like 5 or 6 videos in one sitting, and then I forget about them. So that one was a few weeks old, so there's a few things I said in there that probably didn't make too much sense. Like my Gotenks and my Gogeta weren't duped yet. Like, not duped, but meaning they didn't have dupes in them yet, so they didn't have like crits and stuff. So that was a thing there. But it was still a cool video to do nonetheless. And I want to clarify one thing. Broly's event does not have a damage mitigating barrier, right? It's just he has an ability that raises his defense massively high, which is why you can basically beat Broly by reducing his defense to 0 or a really low number. And I got a comment trying to, not really, I don't know if it was chewing me out, so to say, but like trying to correct me in regards to that. And for simplicity's purpose, for simplicity purposes, when it comes to doing these videos, sometimes it's just easier to shortchange it and just say, hey, this is what's going on, because I mean, it's basically the same thing. There might be a little minor nitpicky difference. So I want to say that too, because yes, Broly's defense is massively high, and of course we still have to meme that, you know, his defense as a unit on these stages is super high, but when you actually get the unit, it's nothing like that. In fact, this TEQ Broly SS3 basically lowers his defense to 0 too. So it's funny, but nonetheless, I do appreciate all constructive criticism. So if you're wondering, by the way, why Bojack is here instead of Trenchcoat 17, it's for one reason. Well, 2 reasons. Because this guy also functions as like a secondary hard-hitting unit. He can hit for like 500 or 600k at SA10, which he is at now. Basically farmed his SA up a while ago with STR Bojacks, and that was pretty time-consuming. So I did that, and also because I'm testing out a method that'll allow me to use a little bit more big bad bosses, so that's why. Even though 17 doesn't have it, the ability for Rose to use it, right, is really good. Rose becomes basically the hardest hitting unit on this team in a lot of scenarios, so that's why. Even though 17 and then the LRs don't have it, it still doesn't really matter. Because Cooler has it, Shenron has it, Bojack has it, and Rose has it, that's enough. I don't know, but the support is pretty good too, because of course the support stretches across every unit. So take it with a grain of salt. It's just something I'm testing. See, like right here, I can trigger big bad bosses if I get hit hard enough, because you have to be below 80%, I believe. All right, so I'm gonna give you those right there, right? Oh my goodness, only 35 damage. Okay, so nothing crazy. I do wonder if I'll get a crit here. I found a really good friend, by the way. Every time I find one of these good friends, look at that attack stat on Rose. Every time I find a really good friend, I always try to friend them, because the villain leads are really hard to come by. They're very hard to come by. And as always with a lot of the villain teams, a lot of the units on these teams basically reduce enemies' defense by a high number, and that's still the case here. Greatly reducing defense is very prevalent on villain-based teams. So I'm going to have 17 do it, and I'm going to have Omega do it on the back end. The LR androids, I think, lower attack and defense normally, though. It's been a while since I've looked at their cards, so forgive me if I don't know all this stuff off the top of my head. I'm not perfect, but I do know a nice chunk of it. Okay, so those guys, Android 17, Super 17, is able to mitigate damage very, very well. Can I get a crit? No crit necessary, though, because we broke through and did a nice chunk of damage. So, yeah, this is basically to summarize what I was saying earlier. Broly events are the only time that reducing the enemy's defense is super important. Oh, hey, I can probably get big bad bosses here. Maybe. See, I think 17 may mitigate damage too well for this to be a consistent thing. Although on the back end, if I haven't killed the Broly yet, Bojack will get hit kind of hard, and Rose too, to where it'll trigger it for Bojack, at the very least, if Rose gets hit kind of hard. But see, ooh. That may trigger it. That's going to mitigate well. 33K, yep. Big Bad Boss is just activated. Thank you. I appreciate it. And see ya. All right, so we're on to the tech stage now. So I'm also functioning with type disadvantage here, so keep that in mind. I'll give you those. I'm gonna hoard up the blues here in the middle to get that ultra super attack on the androids. Yes, my androids are SA20. They don't have very much potential system in them, though. If you want to see them, they don't have much. I think they also can crit, though. I gave them 1 dupe, so that's a thing. Gonna give you that, Icarus. So I basically picked up on that's a thing. So I'm gonna be saying that for the foreseeable future until I get over it. Every now and then I just pick up on one word. You know, I was watching Alex, the Gaming Claws video the other day. I don't mind this. I don't mind it at all. That's actually the perfect candidate to take that hit with that Broly Kamehameha. No, it's not really a Kamehameha, but it looks close enough, right? Anyways, I was watching Alex, the Gaming Claws video, his best LR Trunks video. Check it out, best LR Trunks team. I made that team. He didn't even shout me out from what I heard, but I don't really care. I was watching the video, though, and he was like, oh, I picked up on saying this man. I was like, bro, you've always said this man. For as long as I've known you, you said this man. And he just now picked up on it. Cooler with that Supernova. Broly's defense is still ridiculously high, but it won't survive this turn. This is going to basically destroy it. 17's attack should get rid of the high defense barrier that Broly has. And to clarify on that one more time, I don't mind this, bro. I don't mind it. Keep doing that. Just keep doing it to 17. A lot of events have like a mitigation minus a restriction of things like that. For example, Super 17 has like a literal barrier. And until you break that actual said barrier, his actual event, by using key-based? Key-based attacks, I think, break the barrier. Until you do that, physical attacks like literally do no damage. Or something like that. It's a really weird mechanic. And then Ultimate Gohan's event, it's probably not that way anymore because these cards do so much damage, but unless you use Majin Buu cards or Super Gogeta like way back, you just couldn't do any damage to it. It just was ridiculous. I'm going to heal up again. And we're going to use... 6 key isn't enough. But see, I don't want to move that 17 out of the first slot because apparently he's very fond of super attacking in the first slot. Going to come up short of the super attack, the ultra super attack. Don't mind it, though. Going to pop another Icarus to be able to, you know, of course, reduce the incoming damage enough. Not getting a super there with Bojack does hurt a little bit, but at this point, 17's attack stat should be high enough because he does get the attack increase every time he gets hit. So he's basically at max power. I told you, he's pretty fond of attacking in the first slot, apparently. Maybe that's always been something he's done, and I haven't ran the stage enough to know that or notice that, but apparently he does that. So keep that in mind if you ever run this. But yeah, the real reason I'm doing this is because I haven't done one of these really challenging ones in a while. This is kind of challenging. And I've had people, like in the video yesterday, say that they were concerned about Broly. For whatever reason, the Broly events always scare people, but they're probably the easiest ones to get around because of the fact that the requirement's really easy to get past. Because there's so many cards that just say greatly reduced defense. You can also use the Guldo method, which I've always hated, but it works. I hate the Guldo method. So what that is there's a TEQ Guldo that I think if he gets hit, he reduces the enemy's defense to 0. I hate that card. But yeah, it's a thing. The reason I hate it is because everybody's always like, oh, you could just use Guldo, or you could just stop. No Guldo. Well, I didn't expect 17 to go ham on him, but apparently 17 was done with the video. That's kind of just what these units do. They're like, bro, I've had enough. I'm done with it. So what I kind of surmised is it probably would still be better to just run the support over Bojack, because even though I can trigger big bad bosses, it's probably still a little better to run that Android 17 in the trench coat because of the key support and stuff. Even though I don't really need the key support most of the time, could probably help the androids, LR androids, get to their Ultra Super a little bit more often, and could potentially get that 25% more, I believe, attack. I don't think he gives defense. If he does, then that's even better. But anyways, thank you guys for the continued support here on the video. Once again, check out the video I put up yesterday with the LR Vegito Blue leads. I'll be back with a villain-based one. The problem with the villain one is I don't have all the villain leads. I don't have this Broly from this event. I didn't bother to summon for him. So I'll see what I can do in the future. Anyways, have an awesome day. Thank you for the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.